mindset, and that is definitely not a deep enough reason, but I think it's the reason that got me started into this journey. After that, I realized that I wanted to take education classes, and I wanted to actually like make a real difference rather than just like help a football player learn how to run to the right route or whatever. It came down to recognizing that there's a lot of things in the education system that don't work out the way that they should in order to help everybody be as successful as they can be. Our education system works well for some people, but it doesn't work well for everybody. It doesn't even come close to working well for everybody. And I want to be able to use whatever sphere of influence I have to make it work at least a little bit better for everybody. For the Black and brown students that have been systemically set up to fail, for the as a science teacher, recognizing that gender is something that is still very systemic inside of STEM, trying to make it so that students feel more welcomed and more wanting to be in the science space is something that's really important to me, and it's kind of been the thing that's guided me since then. It's so much energy. I don't really remember it, like it was definitely a flash, but I remember being real nervous. I remember letting that kind of be just like a nervous energy that made me really happy. I don't remember anything about it except that I had a lot of energy and I was really nervous. I think I go two ways with it. I think one piece of advice is to not take things so seriously and recognize that even though you're trying to grow and develop your sphere of influence, the education system is freaking massive, and you as one teacher are not going to have an impact on the system so much as you might have an impact on the individual students. Like, yes, students make up the system, but focus on the students rather than focusing on trying to make a change within the system. That does not mean I wasn't focused on the students. I think at the time I was like, I'm going to be part of this revolutionary change in education from jump, and that just wasn't realistic. And I think the second piece of advice would be kind of the opposite of not taking things so seriously, is take it seriously, especially in the realm of making systemic changes. I think I didn't really recognize how hard it would be to have things that I wanted to do get denied. Like my second or third year, I tried to start a class for like an IB chemistry class just for students of color, to help encourage that population of students to actually take IB chemistry, because it's like our school is two schools, and it has been, it is still, like yes, there's definitely students of color that are taking honors classes, but it's not representative of our whole population. And so I tried to get that going, was told no, and it hurt. I was really frustrated, but instead now I just want to past self recognize that it's not your fault that this thing didn't work out. There are systems in place that are going to make it so that it's not going to work out, but also recognizing that doesn't mean you stop pushing. Like, just because it didn't work out the one time doesn't mean that you don't try again the next year, or with the next principal, or with the next superintendent, or with the next administration. Pretty much every day in front of students. I think students are the reason that I'm still in this, students are the reason that I'm still in this job, and seeing the changes that they push for. Similarly, they're not going to see all the changes that they want to see get made, but they are passionate about a lot of things, and I love to see the passion drive them. Even if they don't recognize it as a passion yet, I think seeing the desire to learn, the desire to grow, and the desire to continue to push forward is the thing that gives me hope for the future more than the hope for right now. I remember somebody that wanted to learn. I remember somebody that wanted to get a good grade. but also didn't mind asking questions. And as somebody that did well in the class, it was always really important to me that somebody that was doing well was also asking questions. There's that mindset. I think a lot of students have, like, if I ask a question, I'm going to sound dumb. But it's people like you that ask questions, clearly not being dumb, and allowed for other people to recognize that it's okay to ask questions. I remember somebody that had a smile on their face most days, and it actually helped me have a smile on my face as well, because he would come in, say, "Hi, Mr. Polk," get a high five, and that would, like, I saw somebody that wanted to be in the space. And that was something that was really important to me, and I really valued as a teacher then, and I still value a lot now. It's the same, that you would continue to ask questions, that you would continue to push, that you would continue to value the opportunity to learn, and recognize that you're not always going to know the right answer, and that's going to be okay, because nobody's going to know the right answer every time. Even the freaking Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't know every answer about astrophysics. He knows way more than me, but like recognizing that there's going to be places that you don't know everything, and that's going to be okay, because that gives you a chance to learn, and by learning you get to grow.
Yeah. Okay.
And that you switch to lacrosse instead of golf.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not gonna. Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay. Now I have to figure out how to